Imagine this. You're doing everything right. You're pushing through the hunger pangs. You've meticulously mapped out your 16-hour fasting window, all in the hope of triggering autophagy, that magical cellular cleanup process everyone talks about. But what if I told you that 90% of people trying to activate this process are actually shutting it down? And here's the kicker. It's not because they are doing it wrong or because they lack discipline. It's because of one specific thing they are consuming during their fasting window, something that almost every single health influencer tells you is completely fine. Once you realize what this mistake is, you are going to completely rethink your entire protocol. But let's back up for a second. What is autophagy, really? The word sounds complicated, but it literally means self-eating. Now, don't let that terrify you. It's not about your body cannibalizing itself. Think of your body as a high-tech apartment building. Over time, furniture breaks, appliances stop working, and garbage accumulates in the corners. If you don't take action, the apartment becomes dysfunctional and dangerous. Autophagy is essentially your body's built-in building manager. It comes in, identifies what is broken or useless, and recycles it, turning that cellular garbage into raw materials to build something new and vibrant. When it's working properly, autophagy is your body's most powerful internal anti-aging system. The problem is most people think autophagy is just a light switch. They believe that at exactly the 16-hour mark of not eating, a switch flips and cleaning begins. That is simply not true. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the actual science of what triggers autophagy. Not the oversimplified version you hear online, but the real, research-backed protocol. We are going to explore a combination of fasting windows, smart nutrition, and movement protocols that will activate your body's cleanup crew faster, more completely, and with way less suffering than you have been putting yourself through. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start actually healing your body from the inside out, stay with me. The way you think about fasting is about to fundamentally change. This isn't just some trendy wellness philosophy you heard from a blogger. This is Nobel Prize-winning science. In 2016, a Japanese scientist named Yoshinori Ohsumi was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine specifically for discovering the mechanisms behind autophagy. The Nobel Committee didn't honor him for just discovering it existed. They honored him because he revealed that autophagy is essential for human health, specifically for protecting us against cancer, diabetes, and neurodegenerative diseases. That brings us to a harsh reality, particularly if you are over 50. Autophagy naturally declines with age. Imagine your body as a city. When you're young, the garbage trucks come every day. But as we get older, that system breaks down. A study published in the journal Aging found that autophagic activity decreases significantly with age. Researchers described this decline as one of the primary mechanisms behind age-related cellular dysfunction. The cleanup crew gets slower and less efficient. By the time you are in your 50s or 60s, your cells have had decades of accumulating molecular debris. We are talking about misfolded proteins that were never cleared, and damaged mitochondria, the power plants of your cells, that are still there, but are producing energy inefficiently and generating toxic oxidative stress as a byproduct. Research from Harvard Medical School found that this accumulation of cellular debris is directly linked to the development of neurodegenerative conditions. And your brain is particularly vulnerable because neurons rarely divide. They have to last a lifetime. This is why researchers studying Alzheimer's and Parkinson's are paying close attention to autophagy. Both conditions are characterized by the accumulation of specific protein aggregates that autophagy is supposed to clear. So how do we fix this? How do we command our body to take out the trash? It comes down to two cellular traffic controllers, mTOR and AMPK. Think of mTOR as the growth signal. When mTOR is active, it senses nutrients, protein, and insulin. It is essentially telling your body, we are building today, forget the cleanup. On the other hand, AMPK is the energy stress signal. When you are low on energy, glucose, or nutrients, AMPK activates. It turns mTOR off and switches autophagy on. It is the signal that screams, "We are in survival mode. It is time to clean house." Real autophagy activation isn't just about starving yourself. It is about maximizing AMPK while minimizing mTOR suppression. It is a delicate balance, and that is where the real strategy begins. So you understand the science. You are motivated. You know you need to activate AMPK and suppress mTOR. But here is the honest, uncomfortable truth. Most people completely stall their autophagy journey right when it is getting started. And they do it based on advice from influencers who mean well, but are scientifically wrong. Let's look at the timeline. During the first 8 to 12 hours of a fast, your body is still busy processing your last meal. Insulin is slowly dropping, and your cells haven't really received the nutrient deprivation signal yet. Autophagy is basically in standby mode. At around 16 hours, something shifts. Your liver glycogen, your body's emergency glucose reserve, starts running low. Your body begins switching to fatty acid oxidation. This is when the early stages of autophagy induction begin. But here's the critical mistake. Many people drink BCAAs, branch-chain amino acids, or take collagen supplements during their fasting window, thinking they are preserving muscle or helping their skin. What they don't know is that BCAAs, particularly leucine, are among the most potent mTOR activators known to science. By sipping that drink, you are literally slamming the brakes on your cellular cleanup crew. You are pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. For autophagy, water, electrolytes without carbohydrates, and plain black coffee are your only safe allies during a fast. And the mistake doesn't stop there. It continues when you break your fast. If you jump straight into a massive protein shake or a huge steak, you are flooding your system with amino acids, instantly reactivating mTOR, and killing the momentum of the cleanup process you just spent hours building. To maximize this, you need to break your fast strategically. Start with something lower in protein, like vegetables or healthy fats, to keep the cellular management team working a little longer before you transition back into growth mode. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do I really have to fast for 24 hours to get these benefits? The answer is no. If your goal is to trigger autophagy without suffering through extreme, multi-day fasts, you need to use specific tools that act as biological hacks. The first, and most powerful hack, is timing your exercise. Exercise triggers autophagy, full stop. But the type and timing matters immensely. A landmark study published in Current Biology showed that moderate intensity exercise, think a brisk walk or a light jog, activates AMPK directly in your muscles. But here is the secret sauce. Do this exercise while you are in a fasted state, particularly in the final 2 hours of your fasting window. By stacking exercise on top of the already rising nutrient stress from fasting, you are dramatically amplifying the signal to clean house. For those over 50, this is great news. You don't need to do high-intensity interval training that puts stress on your joints. A consistent, moderate workout is actually more effective for net autophagic benefit per unit of effort. If you want to take it further, add resistance training. Lifting weights induces something called mitophagy. This is a specific form of autophagy that targets and destroys damaged mitochondria, the broken power plants in your cells. Replacing these old power plants is crucial for boosting your energy levels and metabolic health as you age. But wait, what if you could activate this process through food? This brings us to a remarkable compound called spermidine. Research published in Nature Cell Biology has identified spermidine as one of the most potent autophagy inducers outside of fasting itself. It basically mimics the nutrient stress signals, telling your cells it is time to clean, even if you just ate. The highest food sources of spermidine are natto, a Japanese fermented soybean dish, wheat germ, mushrooms, and aged hard cheeses. Adding these to your diet is a game changer. Next, let's talk about polyphenols, specifically EGCG found in green tea and quercetin found in apples and onions. These compounds act as AMPK activators, mimic the effects of caloric restriction, and provide a huge boost to your cellular cleanup crew. Finally, do not underestimate the power of temperature and sleep. Heat exposure from a sauna or cold exposure from a cold shower triggers a stress response called hormesis, which is just a fancy way of saying stress that makes you stronger. This response induces autophagy to help your cells repair the damage from the stress. And lastly, autophagy follows a circadian rhythm. It is highest during sleep. If you are sleep deprived, you are actively dismantling your body's ability to repair itself. A good night's sleep is the foundation of all these other hacks. And so how do we put all of this together into a sustainable daily lifestyle? First, I need to address a major risk for those over 50, muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia. Extreme multi-day water fasts might produce high autophagy, but they carry a real risk of breaking down your muscle mass faster than your body can repair it. You do not need to suffer for days to get meaningful results. Here is your actionable, sustainable protocol. Start with a foundation of intermittent fasting, aiming for 16 to 18 hours of fasting daily. During this time, consume only water, electrolytes without carbohydrates, or plain black coffee. 3 to 4 days a week, time your exercise to be at the end of your fast. That 20 to 30 minutes of brisk walking or light cycling is going to amplify your cleanup process more than any supplement. When you break your fast, do it strategically. Your first meal should be a cleanup meal. It should be low in leucine, meaning low in concentrated animal protein. Focus on a base of vegetables and fruits rich in polyphenols, dark leafy greens, berries, and onions. This allows the autophagic window to continue for a little longer before you introduce significant protein. Your second and third meals can then include adequate, high-quality protein to support muscle maintenance. And finally, to keep your cellular manager working around the clock, regularly incorporate those spermidine-rich foods we discussed, like natto or mushrooms, and ensure you are getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Autophagy isn't about punishment. It's about giving your body the signal and the tools it needs to heal itself. Start this protocol tomorrow and witness how much more vibrant and energetic you can feel.